Thank you, Madam Chair. The United Nations General Assembly Resolution 60/251, establishing the Human Rights Council, provides, under its operative paragraph 4, the Human Rights Council shall be guided by the principles of universality, impartiality, objectivity, and non-selectivity, constructive international dialogue, and cooperation, with a view to enhancing the promotion and protection of all human rights. These principles are guarantees and cornerstones for the cooperation of states on the issue of human rights at the international level. The body under discussion, the so-called Commission of Experts on Human Rights in Ethiopia, defies all the above principles and norms from its inception up to this very point. The Commission is born out of a political calculation to intensify political pressure against Ethiopia. The group responsible for the creation of this body aims to advance political and geostrategic causes. The Commission is merely an instrument that will later serve as a justification for intervention and sanction. Many of the actors fitting into this approach have declared they will create another Darfur out of the Ethiopian story. For African countries like mine, this is anything but an original story. The experts' body is one of several alternative pressure points created against my country. That's why no African country voted for the resolution that created the Commission. More recently, the Commission's terms is extended with a margin of 2 votes. It is our hope this will be its last term and more members of the Council will realize the true objective of the Commission and vote against its continuation. Madam Chair, the expert body can never be impartial or objective. It is given designated and numbered tasks as well as the list of accusations it must level against my country. That's why the report presents as proven allegation, albeit with no proof whatsoever, what we have been hearing as a media propaganda all year long. It produced such an incoherent and sketchy report, the Commission went to a great lengths against the minimum standards of investigation and reporting on human rights. To meet this, the wishes of its sponsors, it rushed to reach conclusion on the basis of very few telephone interviews with unaccounted individuals in conflict-affected areas. Mind you, this is happening in places where communication infrastructure is destroyed because of the conflict. The Commission is also well aware the destructive group we are dealing with fabricates atrocities and orchestrates allegations to acquire sympathy at the international level. Furthermore, some members of the Commission, I'm sorry to say that, prior to their appointment maintained a hostile position, one that is publicized over their personal social media accounts. Some have actively advanced the need for intervention and application of R2P, whatever meaning it holds for them. They have done this citing media reports and contested works of biased civil society organizations. In view of this, the report is nothing but a means to reflect this premeditated position against my country, Ethiopia. Madam Chair, states hold the primary responsibility to ensure the respect, protection, and fulfillment of human rights. That is why one of the principles we set forth under the General Assembly resolution is constructive international dialogue and cooperation. Today, we are dealing with a commission that probably for the first time refused to work with the concerned government. Regardless of our fundamental opposition to the establishment of the Commission, Ethiopia offered to cooperate with the Commission on the basis of the previous successful working relation we had with the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights. Accordingly, we invited the Commission of Experts into Ethiopia and facilitated different levels of discussions. To our utter surprise, the Commission refused to work with the government. Looking at the report of the Commission, one can understand the reason why the Commission refused such collaboration. As we have predicted, the Commission is a political body created to generate its own hostile narrative towards Ethiopia. Obviously, cooperation of the country concerned is not favorable for such a predestined and unlawful mission. Madam Chair, when it comes to the content of the report, let me just say the following. The joint report of the Ethiopian Human Rights Commission and the OHCHR, which is produced after 2 months of investigation on the ground, conclude there is a need for further investigation. It also called for prosecution of certain allegations, whereas the Commission of Experts, based on a desk-based review from Entebbe and Geneva and phone interviews that are claimed to be done with victims in conflict-affected areas, concluded with certainty the commission of a list of all sorts of international crimes. Interesting enough, it went further to demand action by all political and security organs of the United Nations. The report makes a deliberate effort to acquit the terrorist group we are dealing with from crimes it committed. It shifts the scope of the report, widening and narrowing the coverage as it fits the main objective of absolving the terrorist group from crimes we will make sure it will be accountable for. We therefore reiterate the allegations mentioned in this report are unsubstantiated. The report lacks objectivity, professionalism, and impartiality. It is selective and discriminatory, and its conclusions are politically motivated. Madam Chair, Ethiopia rejects the Commission and its commissioned work. We are convinced the Commission will not even pretend to exercise impartiality and objectivity and exhibit a modicum of professionalism in its work. While this Commission is one improper dent on the international human rights system, Ethiopia will redouble its effort to ensuring the respect, protection, and fulfillment of human rights of its people. We will ascertain accountability for all alleged violations of human rights. Accordingly, we will continue our good faith and principled cooperation with the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights. We will strengthen our national human rights institutions. We will implement the accepted recommendation of the joint report of the Ethiopian Human Rights Commission and the Office of the High Commission for Human Rights. We will augment the inter-ministerial agency and its capacity to investigate and ensure the prosecution of alleged violation. It is only unfortunate the international human rights system is positioned to play a hostile and negative role against these national efforts. What we have heard is sadly a chronicle of lies and falsehood.
Could you please conclude? Thank you. I thank the distinguished representative of Ethiopia.